My name is Bennett Schwontkowski, and I fly hot air balloons. I started flying balloons when I was 14. I had a balloon fly over my house, so I went out and chased it on my bicycle. And when it had landed just before sunset, they needed help putting it away, so I helped them put away the balloon. They then told me if I helped them on 6 full flights, I'd be eligible to go for a free balloon ride or flight. So I did that, went for my first balloon flight. Having a fear of heights, I sat on the floor at the bottom of the basket, but by the 3rd time I was flying the balloon, 5th time I was a part owner. After getting out of high school, I had to go straight to work because my father had passed away. So I went to work and did a couple different things, and then went to work for a greenhouse. Working in the greenhouse, that was fun, that was challenging, but left that in 1985 to start ballooning full time. I decided when I was about 25 to get into ballooning full time. And everybody and my colleagues were quite puzzled, but they knew that I was an independent type of person and it was going to be more of a challenge. The average pilot flies for fun, generally about 25 times a year, maybe as much as 40 times a year. I was flying back then 50 to 95 flights a year. So I guess I must have loved the sport. Ballooning is different than other jobs in the sense of not only do you meet different people, but we're subject to the weather, and that's the biggest factor involved in it. Unlike a regular 9-to-5 job, our job starts either bright and early in the morning, right at sunrise, or just a few hours before sunset. While I've flown hot air balloons, I haven't flown any other type of aircraft, and that's because the first airplane ride I went up in, I got sick because we were flying on a turbulent day. My eye doctor took me up and we went around the Crystal Lake up to our Lake Geneva area, and I guess I prefer to fly in something that's almost like a magic carpet ride, and that's what a hot air balloon really is. The differences in flying a hot air balloon and having that as a career is every day is completely different, whether we fly our local area, whether we're out of town in another state flying at an event. However, we're truly a show team where our balloons are basically showcasing either a company, a product, or perhaps taking some special VIPs up for a balloon flight and to basically enjoy that type of experience. The states I've flown have included Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, probably another 35 of the United States. We've done operations in Canada also, and we've sent some of our balloons to even Australia, to Germany, France, and Argentina. The challenge in flying a hot air balloon is basically not only working with the weather, but understanding it. Weather constantly changes, and when we come in to do a landing, basically sometimes you might have your 7-story tall balloon that's 50 feet wide, and you think you're going to be able to get into that big cut field with the tree line that's basically on the border, and you come in and you might have misjudged slightly and you're basically right over the trees. So you have to go on. So hopefully there's another field down the road or someplace where people will allow you to land in their backyards. Most people are pretty friendly about balloons landing though too. When I've landed in people's backyards, I've been met with not only welcome, but come on in, dinner's on the table and we're waiting. We've crashed a wedding reception one time that there was a wedding reception going on. We landed there, kicked out our passengers, and actually took the bride and groom and flew them out. Unbeknownst, who would have thought 3 minutes earlier that was going to happen? So it's a lot of fun, it's different, and yet the balloon has a tremendous amount of appeal. An average day starts for me the night before when we take a look at the weather and determine if we're going to be flying right at sunrise. Sunrise can run as early as 5:15 in the morning, so we might need to be out meeting with our crew as early as 4 o'clock, depending where we have to drive to go do our flight. Then we do our flight, and the neat thing about ballooning is that's the reason they made naps. You can go out, do your flight, and then at 10 o'clock after you're done refueling, you can go out and take a nap for a few hours, and then you start again with the new weather forecast at 1 o'clock to see if you're going to be flying for that evening. When you fly in a balloon, the perspective is unbelievable. We get to see a lot of different neighborhoods, subdivisions, and a lot of different cities where other people don't get that opportunity. The thing that attracts people to ballooning is, I think, the whimsicalness and the magic of it. With my job and the opportunities that we have, we take the balloons to elementary schools, and we share with the students our knowledge about the weather, why school is important, including math, geography, science, but how the whole thing works. What we'll do is we'll take the balloon inside their gymnasium and inflate it with some inflator fans partially, and even let the children walk inside the balloon and see what a balloon really is like. From there we go outside and we basically have our basket, and we show them how the basket is constructed, including the burners. We show them our fuel, which operates our engine or our burners, and kids get a big kick out of the flames, shooting the flames up. The burners put out enough heat to cook a hot dog in about 4 seconds flat. So sometimes we'll bring a hot dog on a skewer and show them how powerful it is. It takes mom anywhere, they told me this morning, from 5 minutes to 15 minutes to cook a hot dog, so we're a little bit quicker than her. Out of over 12,000 passengers I've flown, all but 2 have liked the balloon flight. It's different. They don't know what to expect. The balloon gently lifts off. We can touch the tops of the trees. We go up generally in this area to about the height of the Sears building, about 1,500 feet. We'll basically float low over water so they can see the reflection. I'll even let them fly the balloon for a few minutes if they like. As an instructor, I can show them how to do that. And the last time you flew to Orlando, the pilot generally probably didn't let you fly the 747, so they're one up on everybody else. Some of the more interesting flights that we've had have included wedding proposals. I've done over 33 wedding proposals that couples have said yes. I've had 3 couples flown out of their weddings, 3 couples got married while we flew, and 2 couples that he proposed and she said no. Typically, out of all my flights I've done, I've had less than a handful of landowners that weren't appreciative of the fact that we either were there on an early morning or a late evening. That's one of the reasons that balloonists offer champagne to the landowners. In France in 1783, when the first balloon took off, the people didn't know what it was. They thought it was sent by the devil, so upon its landing, they came out and pitchforked it. Well, life is a learning experience, and if you don't learn something from every balloon flight, then you better hang it up and do something else. And that's why we offer to our landowners, and so did the French, they offered them a bottle of champagne or wine, because being from France, that's what they had, to show them that they were friendly and didn't mean to do any harm. In flying balloons, they come in different sizes. You can get a Yugo or you can get a Greyhound bus. We have one balloon that was sitting in our warehouse that didn't have a basket. You sat in a chair with a propane tank strapped to your back and the burner above your head. So as you flew, your feet were obviously dangling out of the chair. It's called a cloud hopper, and you truly were hanging right there. Do I love my job and why? I've been asked that by a lot of people. Yes, I love the flexibility and the independence that this offers to me. Not that I couldn't do a regular 9-to-5 job, but every day is completely different. We don't know where we're going to go, when we're going to get there, and who we're going to meet. I think I'll be flying balloons for quite some time due to the fact of the experience that it offers to me. When I did a flight up in Minnesota, I took off from Lake Minnetonka. And the interesting thing about it was, not knowing how to swim, I came right down onto the top of the lake, 2 feet off the top of the water. 6 boats converged on me, including one boat with the lady inside it who said, "Would you like some chocolate chip cookies?" I said, "Sure," because that's my favorite. Well, I was concentrating on the chocolate chip cookies and the boaters and forgot that if you don't add heat to your balloon, the basket comes down and touches the water, and the next thing you know, you have water inside the basket. Well, the basket will float. That's not the problem. But eating chocolate chip cookies while you're flying off with 6 inches of water in the basket is something different that you'll always remember. So, yes, I love my job.